Finally, we have what is probably my favorite method for dealing with conditionals. This method depends on the scoreboard, an entity, execute, and command stats. But once you understand these, it is much easier to build complex command block logic. This method can be combined with the branching technique as well. Here again we have an example of diamond and quartz block discrimination. There are some prerequisites for this technique to work. We have this gentleman here, reg1. He is the entity we will use to receive the conditional test results, and he will perform the conditional actions via execute. We have two conditional tests, one for diamond and one for quartz, so we need two scoreboard objectives. I've named these if1 and if2. The entity must already have a score in each of these objectives, as the stats blocks will not apply the score if it is not already present. So I've already established these objectives and initiated reg1 with the scores. The first two blocks in the chain here perform the tests. We use the stats command to set these blocks to update the if1 or if2 scores on reg1. Once these two blocks have executed, we can use the results repeatedly without having to test the test. And we can act directly for a true or false condition. And furthermore, we could combine conditions into single commands. To use these booleans, we wrap the command in an execute, using a selector to limit the execution to the conditions we need. The diamond block found messages are only displayed if reg1 has a score of 1 for if1. The rest of the chain continues, using selectors to control the execution of each command. Notice that all of these blocks are executed, regardless of the results of the tests. This means that each of these execute commands and the selector must be processed. You must balance the cost of using the scoreboard, entities, and selectors versus the cost of the other methods. I feel that the ease of use of this method usually justifies the computational cost. Furthermore, you may already have a need for an entity for relative reference or another function, so you can simply use the entity for this purpose as well. The stats, entity, and execute method is easy to build, and it can be very block efficient, and there's no issue with traversing corners. You can combine conditional tests into single commands using selectors, and you can use this technique easily with the branching as well. Since it uses entities, the scoreboard, and selectors, you should be careful and optimize for performance